Sir.
Good evening, Umaru, and good evening to your cherished listeners.
Good evening. Listening to your soundbite there, the things that jump at us, you are brave people in the Volta region. You are not going to allow your region to be used as bloodshed. What were you trying to say?
Umaru, I know that on record, even yourself and people in your outfit have been attacked by hoodlums in the past. Umaru, 8 of our compatriots in this country were murdered during the 2020 election. Are you trying to say that the families, the relations of those individuals, given the opportunity again, will not take steps to protect their loved ones that are currently dead? And there's no effort to seek justice for those people. All I'm trying to say is this, that it was simply because of the election 2020 that people lost their lives. I'm saying that in 2024, no one would allow those hoodlums who murdered innocent Ghanaians because of election to operate anywhere. Unless you want to tell me that because of peace, when we see people murdering people, other innocent people, we should just say that peace means that allow hoodlums, wicked people to murder people because of election. I don't think that is what you mean. So we are saying we will take every necessary step, legitimate, to protect everybody who is supposed to vote and let the votes be counted, and whoever wins, that person will be the person to govern us. It's as simple as that.
You use the phrase legitimate steps, and legitimacy here would be from the courts or the police. Is that what you are preaching? Because it does not sound like that's what you intend to do.
I don't know whether if you are home and somebody entered your house, begin to butcher your wife, you will be waiting to go to court after he's finished killing your in an unlikely event. I want to believe that you are not suggesting that if you see somebody enter your house trying to attack your children, your wife, and everybody in your house, you will say that because there's a court, you would fold your arms and wait and go to court later. Is that what you are trying to suggest?
What would you do?
In fact, I would have been, of course, you fight back. I would encourage you. Omar Sanda, if anybody enters your house illegitimately, begin to attack your family, fight back. Save them first before you call the police. Save them first before you go to court. That will be a responsible decision to be made. Peace does not mean that you should become meek and hopeless in the face of wickedness and senseless attack on your person.
When you say anyone planning to attack you on election day should write their wills, it means you are planning to kill people on December 7th.
Well, I said something in a metaphor, but why are you not worried about those people? Omar, do you care about the 8 people who have died during the 2020 election?
Continue.
Omaru, do you care about those 8 people who have been killed and their families? I'm asking you directly a question. Do you care about them?
Are you planning to kill people on the election day of December 7, 2024?
Do you care about the lives of the 8 people who were murdered and their families, and as we speak, nobody is seeking justice for them? Do you care about them? If you care, I want to hear you say what you expect the state to do to seek justice for them. Because as I said, when you anybody enters your house, enters my house, begin to attack, or anybody, I go to vote, anybody attacks me, I expect those who are around to take the necessary steps to stop that person.
So my question still holds.
You are not worried about those who have killed the 8 people. You are worried about somebody who is saying that if we find anybody in 2024 trying to kill people, we should protect those people who have been attacked. You are worried about that. Don't you realize that once there's nobody attacking or trying to kill people during the election, there will not be any response?
So the question still stands.
Yes.
When you say people who plan to rig the elections of 2024, whether it's an IGP or an army commander, they should write their will. You are presupposing that you are ready to kill people on the election day at the polling station.
No, I'm not ready to kill anybody, but I will encourage you.
I think wills are written for dead people, right? So if you say will, then we know what it means.
Dead people don't write will. Actually, living people write.
Yes, but they write it because they are going to die.
Well, I mean, you don't write will because you want to die. You write will.
There are wills that are written under those circumstances. When someone is about to die, they write a will. That happens.
I don't know anybody who writes will because they want to die.
There are people who, when they're about to die, they write a will. But that's not even that's not even the issue. The issue is that
you will not.
Honorable.
Honorable. I will tell you this.
Yes.
Your question. The premise of your question is wrong. I'm saying that.
The premise of my question is you have said that anyone planning to rig the election should write their will before coming. Honorable, just a second. Just a second.
Avoiding the obvious.
Just a second.
You have been attacked. You have been attacked.
Let me just ask let me ask a question. You let me ask a question, then you can answer.
No. Umaru, let me respond first. I'm saying that if I'm your next door neighbor and I see anybody attacking you, I'll come to your rescue. I will not wait for you to be killed before I go to court. I can guarantee you that because I think I want you to be alive.
Thank you for being a caring neighbor.
No matter what justice I get at the court when you are dead, you are not good to your family.
Okay, that's fine. So, I appreciate it.
Agbodza is not promising to kill anyone. We are sounding the warning that those individuals who killed 8 people in the election, we are seeing all the things they are doing currently. We are hearing all the things. We heard the how do you call it? The defense minister threatening hell.
Hello, Honorable, I'm losing you. I can't hear you. Honorable, hello? Honorable Agbodza, sorry, I lost you there. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, Honorable?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Yeah, can you hear me? I lost you momentarily.
I can hear you now, the line.
Okay, great.
We are on the field.
Okay, yes, it's understandable. So, what was the import of the use of the word will in your warning or in your statement?
Medra.
Explain that, please. No, Agbodza, sorry, I'm really having difficulties hearing you. So let's try and make that point again. I didn't hear you. Sorry, let me. I really am having difficulties. I think we have to try and re-establish connection with you. It's a bit tricky. The line we have to Gavin Kwame Agbodza. He's a member of parliament for Adaklu in the Volta region. Also recently appointed minority whip, that means he essentially is a man in charge of whipping, and not literally, but NDC members of parliament in the house, making assurances or giving assurances to former President Mahama, who was the flag bearer of the NDC, but also making some statements that we're just trying to understand what he intended to say when he said what he said, where he talks about anyone planning to rig the election should write their own will before coming. And then another part where he says if anybody starts a fight, they shall complete the fight for that person. We'll be asking him to explain himself, what exactly he intended to do. I think we have him back on the line. Let me go back, hopefully on a better line this time. Honorable Agbodza, I was asking you, and I hope this time around we can hear each other, what the import of the use of the word will was when you put it in your sentence.
Question, actually. I'm saying that if you are a murderer, I'm not talking about you, those who murdered the 8 people, I'm sure they are probably the same.
It's really tricky here. Apologies. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. It's really difficult.
You got away with it in 2020. You might not be that lucky in 2024. So if you are Poland, I think repeating same in 2024, it's a good idea to write your will. I don't think that is a threat at all.
So you're referring to the people who killed the 8 people in December 2020?
Yes.
Do you know who those people are?
Because as far as I'm concerned, nobody has been arrested. Those people didn't die of heart attack, did they? They were murdered. They were shot. You understand? They were shot. So Maru, I'm repeating, if those people who carried those heinous crimes are still alive, are thinking of repeating it, maybe they might become victims because people fight back in self-defense. That is as simple as that.
What do you have?
I'm not threatening anybody, but I believe in self-defense, those people might become victims.
I see. In 2012, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
In 2012, then candidate Akufo-Addo made the infamous statement of all die be die, where he talks about the fact that NDC thought that you had more violence in you than they did. And he said, and he referred to the male organ and said both men had 2 balls each. And he said if you brought it on, it was going to be all die be die. That was condemned by your party, condemned by everybody who wanted peace in this country. What you have said tonight is the same as what Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo said at the time, which you condemned, isn't it?
It's not the same. You are the one who saying is the same. I'm saying that if you come to my house or I go to the polling station to vote and you come and attack me, I'll defend myself. How does that compare to all that be die? I don't want to die. I don't want you to the person who is attacking also to die. So it is the opposite of all that be die. Because I want.
But you talk about wills, and you're not talking about death, and you're talking about a will.
Why are you worried about will? You don't. If you are not,
I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm concerned that you are talking. You're telling people to draw up wills.
You are the same person who said that it is when people want to die that they write will. And I'm saying that I want everybody to be alive, so there's no need for any will. If you are not going to carry out those things that will result into that, then there's no need to do. But in any case, I will encourage you and everybody to write a will, because you don't write will because you want to die. You write will because you want to understand what happens when you are not here. So you don't write will because you want to die.
What was the purpose of your use of the word will then? If it is not because of an expectation of death or dying or killing, what was the purpose of the use of the word will?
Umaru, you keep asking me a question. I just asked you one question. You have refused to answer the question.
Because, Honorable, if this was the appointment, if this was the appointments committee, you could ask questions and I'll answer. Unfortunately, you don't have the.
Umaru,
yes.
You are a patriotic Ghanaian. I ask you a direct question. Do you care about the 8 people who have died during the?
I would want to see justice. I would want to see justice for those people.
Is justice being carried out?
That's actually for.
Do you know of any process seeking justice for those people?
You tell me if there's a prosecution happening in court.
I am not aware.
Okay.
And I'm saying that instead of waiting for more innocent people to die, let's take the necessary step to tell each other, do not go near the situations that led to the death of innocent 8 people in our country. I want you to focus on what we will do to prevent anybody, including you and I, being hurt, rather than being worried about the so-called. And in fact, Umaru, when the defense minister said that you make an example of an individual, that this is the defense minister who actually controls the army, threatening that he would use somebody as an example for the NDC, as a scapegoat for the NDC. Did you call him to ask him whether the defense minister's comment, somebody who is in charge of the army, whether he was threatening to kill people to set example to NDC that more NDC people will be killed in 2024 election?
Honorable Agbodza, finally, you said if anybody starts a fight on election day, you would help the person complete that fight. Can you explain that too?
Umaru, the simple understanding of that is that I am not one of those people who believe that if you slap me, I should turn my if you slap my left, I will give you the right one to be slapped. I can guarantee you, if without provocation you slap me, I'll slap you back.
You are a Moses person, not a Jesus person.
Well, maybe I'm not saying it biblically. Maybe all I'm saying is that if there's no initiation of fight, there's no need for a completion of fight. I know the reason and the only thing when the NPP tells you that they will use strategy, they will use other ways, it is possible to win election. They are telling you that they don't believe that a free and fair election can give them victory. They will use other things. And they've tried it in 2020. So, Umaru, I don't promise any violence. I don't promise anything. In fact, I don't have any means to initiate all those things. But I am saying that it is a legitimate decision of any reasonable human being in self-defense to take action that will save his life and that of his loved one. And I will encourage you to do so. I was very sad when you were attacked. In fact, imagine Ahmed Swale, a family, knew what was going to happen to him. Don't you think that they would have been around him to defend him when those murderers came there?
In fact,
you are like, I mean, yes, None of us is safe.
My co-uncle Kwame Agbodza was attacked at your party office here in Accra. She had to be off work for close to 3 months. I'm sure you've heard about that too. It did not happen from the government or the NPP side.
Umaru.
Yes.
It is the grace of God in my life. Google right now, Adakuru MP car radio with bullets. It is a miracle in my life. So today, I don't know who shot into my vehicle. I am talking about an experience that nearly ended my life in 2017.
So if NDC persons start the fight like the one they took to my colleague here in the studio, you are suggesting that the MPP side should complete that fight for them too?
Your colleague who?
She's sitting in the studio here. Her name is Akosia Oche. She was brutalized by your party members.
Akosia is actually my good friend.
Yes, and
it was a condemnable action.
Good. So the question is, if such a thing happens in 2024 December 7, okay, the media person who is attacked by your party goons should end the fight, and the other opposition party should also complete the fight. Correct?
Umaru, if I'm standing by my very good friend Akosia, and even you, who is also a good friend, attack her, I'll defend her. That's all I can tell you. If I'm standing near you, who is my good friend, and Akosia, and you attack her, I am promising you I'll defend her. Whatever it is.
Lastly, you talk about the indelible ink. Are you going to fight it through the legislative means, or you're going to the courts, or you're simply going to say on election day, if there's no ink, there'll be no vote? How are you planning to deal with that? Because I've heard you giving assurances.
All options are available to us. I just read the law to you, and I know you are, in fact, that you understand the law already. What the EC did was illegal. She had no option. It is not, how do you call it, optional. It is not a discretionary. You must necessarily, in a public election, use an indelible ink. She didn't use it. It's an illegal act. But because nobody talks about it, she is threatening to do the same thing in the 2024 election. And we are saying that we'll take all legitimate action.
That's what I want to know. Would it be legal action, or you're going to physically insist that it should be done on the election day, or you're going to use the parliamentary route?
I started by saying all options are on the table.
Very well.
And Umaru, I want you to take this message to the Electoral Commission. Ever so often, we are worried about people who are victims of the actions of the inactions of the EC, and you don't say anything to admonish her that what she's doing is illegal. What are you? I am a victim here. You are a victim here. The person who is perpetrating the illegality is the Electoral Commission. Instead of you focusing to tell her that your conduct is illegal and unconstitutional, we are discussing what other people will do. Why are you always making victims feel, rather sad? The person who has the power and the law in her hand is the Electoral Commission.
Let's leave it here. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
That's Gavin Kwame Agbodza.